Flutter Interview Questions and Answers. What is Flutter? Flutter is a UI toolkit for creating fast, beautiful, natively compiled mobile applications with one programming language and a single codebase. It is an open-source development framework developed by Google. Generally, Flutter is not a language, it is an SDK. What is Dart? Dart is a general-purpose, object-oriented programming language with C-style syntax. It is open source and developed by Google in 2011. The purpose of Dart programming is to create a front-end user interfaces for the web and mobile apps. It is an important language for creating Flutter apps. The Dart language can be compiled both OT, ahead of time, and JIT, just in time. What are the advantages of Flutter? Cross-platform development. This feature allows Flutter to write the code once, maintain, and can run on different platforms. Faster development. The performance of the Flutter application is fast. Flutter compiles the application by using the ARM C++ library that makes it closer to machine code and gives the app a better native performance. Good community. Flutter has good community support where the developers can ask the issues and get the result quickly. Live and hot reloading. It makes the app development process extremely fast. This feature allows us to change or update the code are reflected as soon as the alterations are made. Minimal code. Flutter app is developed by Dart programming language, which uses JIT and OT compilation to improve the overall startup time, functioning and accelerates the performance. JIT enhances the development system and refreshes the UI without putting extra effort into building a new one. UI focused. It has an excellent user interface because it uses a design-centric widget, high development tools, advanced APIs, and many more features. Documentation. Flutter has very good documentation support. It is organized and more informative. We can get everything that we want to be written in one place. What are the Flutter widgets? A Flutter app is always considered as a tree of widgets. Whenever you are going to code for building anything in Flutter, it will be inside a widget. Widgets describe how your app view should look like with their current configuration and state. When you made any alteration in the code, the widget rebuilt its description by calculating the difference of previous and current widget to determine the minimal changes for rendering in the app's UI. Stateful and stateless widgets. Stateless widget does not have any state information. It remains static throughout its life cycle. Examples of the stateless widget are text, row, column, container, etc. Stateful widget has state information. It is referred to as dynamic because it can change the inner data during the widget lifetime. Examples of the stateful widget are checkbox, radio box, slider, inkwell, form, and text field. Life cycle of stateful widget. Create state. This method creates a state object. Init state is called only once, when the state object is created for the first time. Did change dependencies. This method immediately after the init state. It will also be called when an object that a widget depends on changes. Build. It will be called many times during the life cycle, but the first time is after the did change dependencies method. Did update widget. If the parent widget changes its configuration and has to rebuild the widget, the framework gives you the old widget as an argument that you can use to compare it with the new widget. Set state. This method is often called from the Flutter framework itself and from the developer. Deactivate. Method is called when the widget is removed from the widget tree. Dispose. When the state object is removed permanently from the widget tree. Why does the first Flutter app build take so long? When you build the Flutter app the first time, it will take a longer time. It is because the Flutter built the device-specific APK or EPA file. Thus, the Gradle and Xcode are used to build the file, taking a long time. Why is the Android and iOS folder in the Flutter project? Android. This folder holds a complete Android project. It is used when you create the Flutter application for Android. When the Flutter code is compiled into the native code, it will get injected into this Android project, so that the result is a native Android application. For example, when you are using the Android emulator, this Android project is used to build the Android app, which is further deployed to the Android virtual device. iOS. This folder holds a complete Mac project. It is used when you build the Flutter application for iOS. It is similar to the Android folder, which is used when developing an app for Android. When the Flutter code is compiled into the native code, it will get injected into this iOS project, so that the result is a native iOS application. Building a Flutter application for iOS is only possible when you are working on Mac OS and Xcode IDE. What is the difference between Hot Restart and Hot Reload? Hot Reload. It works with a small R key on the terminal or commands prompt. The Hot Reload feature allows us to quickly compile the newly added code in the file and send them to Virtual Machine, DVM. After DVM completes the updation, it immediately updates the UI of the app. It helps to build UI, add new features, fix bugs, and make app development fast. Hot Reload. It works with a small R key on the terminal or commands prompt. The Hot Reload feature allows us to quickly compile the newly added code in the file and send them to Virtual Machine, DVM. After DVM completes the updation, it immediately updates the UI of the app. It helps to build UI, add new features, fix bugs, and make app development fast. What is the difference between main and run app functions in Flutter? The main function is responsible for starting the program. Without the main function, we cannot write any program on Flutter. The run app function is responsible for returning the widgets that are attached to the screen as a root of the widget tree and will be rendered on the screen. Main axis alignment and cross-axis alignment. Cross-axis alignment and main axis alignment to control how a row and column widgets align its children based on our choice. The row's cross-axis will run vertically, and the main axis will run horizontally. See the below visual representation to understand it more clearly. The column's cross-axis will run horizontally, and the main axis will run vertically. The below visual representation explains it more clearly. What is the difference between sized box versus container? Container in Flutter is a parent widget that can contain multiple child widgets and manage them efficiently through width, height, padding, background color, etc. If we have a widget that needs some background styling, maybe a color, shape, or size constraints, we may wrap it in a container widget. Sized box widget in Flutter is a box that comes with a specified size. Unlike container, it does not allow us to set color or decoration for the widget. We can only use it for sizing the widget passed as a child. It means it forces its child widget to have a specific width or height. What is stream in Flutter? A stream is a sequence of asynchronous events. It provides an asynchronous sequence of data. It is the same as a pipe where we put some value on the one end, and if we have a listener on the other end, it will receive that value. We can keep multiple listeners in a stream, and all of those will receive the same value when put in the pipeline. Types of streams. Single subscription streams. It is the most common type of stream that contains a sequence of events, which is the parts of a larger whole. It will deliver the events in the correct order and without missing any of them. If any of the events are missing, then the rest of the stream makes no sense. This stream is mainly used to read a file or receive a web request. It will listen once, and if it is listening again, it means missing an initial event. When it starts listening, the data will be fetched and provided in chunks. Broadcast streams. It is a type of stream used for individual messages that can be handled one at a time without the knowledge of the previous events. It can have multiple listeners to listen simultaneously, and we can listen again after cancelling the previous subscription. This mouse events in a browser is a kind of this stream. What are the different build modes in Flutter? The Flutter tooling supports 3 modes while compiling the application. These compilation modes can be chosen by depending on where we are in the development cycle. The name of the modes are Debug, Profile, Release. Why do we need mixins? Dart does not support multiple inheritances. Thus, to implement the multiple inheritances in Flutter/Dart, we need mixins. Mixins provide a way to write the reusable classes code in multiple class hierarchies. Why we use a ticker in Flutter? Ticker in Flutter is a refresh rate of our animation. It is a class that sends a signal at a regular interval, i.e., around 60 times per second. We can understand it with our watch, which ticks at regular intervals. At each tick, ticker provides a callback method with the duration since the first ticks at each second after it was started. Even if the ticker started at different times, it always synchronized automatically. What are keys in Flutter, and when to use it? Keys in Flutter are used as an identifier for widgets, elements and semantics nodes. We can use it when a new widget tries to update an existing element. Then, its key should be the same as the current widget key associated with the element. Keys should not be different amongst the elements within the same parent. The subclasses of key must be a global key or local key. Keys are useful when we try to manipulate, such as adding, removing, or reordering, a collection of widgets of the same type that holds some state. What is the difference between Widgets App and Material App? Widgets App. Widgets App is used for basic navigation. It includes many foundational widgets together with the widgets library that Flutter uses to create the UI of our app. Widgets App class is the base class for Material App class. It wraps several widgets that are required for building the application. Material App, along with the Material Library, is a layer that is built on the top of Widgets App and its library. It implements material design that provides a unified look and feels to our app on any platform. It offers many interesting tools such as Navigator or Theme for developing the application. It wraps several widgets that are required for building material design applications. What types of tests can you perform in Flutter? Unit tests. It tests a single function, method, or class. Its goal is to ensure the correctness of code under a variety of conditions. This testing is used for checking the validity of our business logic. Widget tests. It tests a single widget. Its goal is to ensure that the widget's UI looks and interacts with other widgets as expected. Integration tests. It validates a complete app or a large part of the app. Its goal is to ensure that all the widgets and services work together as expected. Difference between async and async. Async will always returns the result wrapped in a future. Async will always return a stream and offer some emitter value through the yield keyword. What are null-aware operators? Assignment operator. The equals assignment operator that assigns a value to a variable only when that variable is null. Int a / initial value of a is null. A equals 5, 3. Print a / it will print 5. Null-aware operator. The null-aware operator that is used to evaluate and returns the value between two expressions. It first checks the expression 1 and if it is non-null, returns its value. Otherwise, it will evaluate and returns the value of expression 2. 1. Print 3. 5 / it will print 3. 2. Print null. 5 / it will print 5.